Gate para sam gate body soha gate para sam gate body soha gate para sam gate body soha.
That's the time to the Lama Sanjay Kumbani was saying the Tobacha. And the judges of the Lajana Tution, Law, the Shinko, Sibra, Toka, Manoa, and Gossip of Jungle Matunga, but several languages, such as the Jesuit to be in some chat.
Let's set our motivation to begin with, and the motivation is to do whatever we possibly can to attain the peerless state of enlightenment in order to benefit all living beings, knowing that to attain that state I must have a very good understanding, a good training in all of the trainings related to attainment of enlightenment, and I must be able to gain that understanding based on a non-mistaken presentation. And so it is with this in mind that I am here this morning to listen to a brief explanation on the outlines of the stages of the path to enlightenment as composed by the great protector Lam Rim. So maybe we begin with some meditation. So then just adopt your normal position of seated posture for a meditation, or else just to sit in the most comfortable position that you can find. But also to have in mind in your own kind of imagination that you are seated in the prescribed posture for meditation. Visualize in the space in front the figure of Shakyamuni Buddha, who is both skilled in means and greatly compassionate. And that the Buddha is seated with the right hand touching in the earth, touching mudra, and the left hand in the posture of meditative absorption, is dressed in the saffron robes of a monk, and is in the nature of pure, clear light. And the overall impression that we have is that the actual Buddha is there in person in front of us. Seated in the Vajra posture and then holding an alms bowl filled with nectar. Visualize in the space all around ourselves all kind mother sentient beings. And so that we visualize in the space amongst or within or containing all those sentient beings, all the sentient beings of the six realms of existence, be they the hell beings, the hungry spirits, the animal realm, humans, of course, the asuras, the desire realm, celestial beings, and indeed all the deities related to the form and formless realms as well. That they are all the beings of cyclic existence without exception. And we see amongst them those with whom we have this very strong connection, such as our parents, our friends, relatives, those who we feel are very close to us, and then those who, through to karma, we feel some distance from. Maybe from our point of view, we feel a sense of discomfort arising in their presence, and also from their point of view, there is this sense of dislike towards us, who we might label as the category of enemy. And then, of course, those who are neutral, who we have no particular feeling arising one way or the other, but that they are all within all these six realms of existence.
What is it? Don't know if that's said about Tobashaja Tobatia, and because of the subject to subject to the Lam, subject to the Mobasoba Sanje. What are the Anjaqui, the Sungi, the two in the Lasumata, and the Shikasoda, Ranchiba Tamja, Sensible Tablet, Kula Tujiba Nidaba, Pentamata, Tam, Jigga to a second. What are the Chamber? Randa, Rangatola, subject Hajala Petaca, Sevia Coneta, Massi shooting it. 단단한 배동에는 잡아치기 두개 탐자 내가 탐자다 잡아 가시 세션 거는 안 마스 가서다 투지 징글납 되게 산다.
And so then, from our point of view, focusing on the figure of Shakyamuni Buddha in the space in front, along with all those sentient beings, we consider the wonderful enlightened qualities of the Buddha's great, having generated that mind of enlightenment for us and all sentient beings, trained in the path for the same reason, and attained manifest and complete enlightenment solely for the purpose of benefiting sentient beings. We consider the Buddha's enlightened qualities of body, speech and mind, how the Buddha is completely free of all fear of suffering for himself, has the skilled in means of relieving all other sentient beings from their fear of suffering, who works for the benefit of sentient beings without bias and with great compassion, and works to benefit all others regardless of whether he has received benefit from them. And so we have that cognition from our own mind, developing that faith together with all the sentient beings, considering the great love and compassion that the Buddha has for us. And so that we have an acknowledgement and awareness of all the different sufferings of all the other sentient beings all around us, and that they have an understanding of their suffering as if with a human sensibility, a human consciousness, and that again focusing on the figure of the Buddha with that sense of faith, aspiration, and deep conviction.
And the subject that I get the coach that Jetta to not to take it Samatan. Samatan Janata, take it to make a natural Samatan, Musibe Ninja. And the Bashaja to one maybe, and better Casoda, and Deva. Rota, David, you check it, won't do it, what did she set up?
And then also visualize how we have this great compassion, considering the vast and limitless variety of sufferings that all the sentient beings all around us must undergo, and simultaneously we were observing the figure of the Buddha with that mind of really powerful faith, containing the faith of manifest faith and pure faith and the faith of conviction.
tembatagi chiki deda chenaba temba shaje to be chingila to what other something.
How wonderful if all sentient beings all around me had happiness and the causes of happiness. May this be so. I pray that this may be so. Oh, Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, please bless me to make this so.
And Sanjay Deda Tanja Dunga the Dunga Kuda Chana Chimoro, Jawa Tuchi, Jawa Shochi, and Jawa Dagachi, Deda Chenaba to Bashaja to be chingila to
How wonderful if all sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And may this be the case. I will see to it that it is the case. O Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, please bless me to make this so.
Sanjay Deda Tanja, and the Dunga Meba Dewata Bata Mitana Chimor, Mitawa Tuchi, Mitawa Shochi, Mitawa Dagachi, Deda Chenaba to Bashaja to be chingila to
May all sentient beings all around me have happiness that knows no suffering and the bliss of liberation. May this be so. I will see to it that it is so. O Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, please bless me to make it so.
Tata Moya de Kawata, Chakdang Ong, the day in Baza Sida Sanjay Deda Tamja, and Yeri Chata the Tewe, and Daniel and Chimaru, never Kuchi, never Shochi, never Dagachi, Deda Chenaba to Bashaja to be chingila to
Of course, we consider the reason why we haven't been able to fulfill these aspirations is due to the prevalence of attachment and aversion, and that we see therefore that our fourth request is how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were free from attachment and aversion that holds some close and others distant. O Guru Shakyamuni, may this be the case. I will see to it that it is the case. O Guru Shakyamuni, please bless me to make this so.
Teda Sunday Jabala Dene, and Debekule, and Tutinanga Chune, to the doors Cabo Shucha, and a Randa Ranga Tabon was Simjata, Chibonima Shune, and to the Cabo, to the Nanga Cabo door Shecha, Chibonima Shune, and Luginam Tajacane. And Toma Mevan Seven Tibata Tibata Kabatuya and a Temeshik Tobaki or a Patu Tibata Tibata Junction, some such.
As a result of our making these strong supplications, the Buddha responds and emanates the 5-colored nectar lights from the heart center, and they come to the crown of myself and all sentient beings with the white light predominant, and entering in through our crown and down, streaming down through the bodies of myself and all sentient beings. And this white light completely eradicates all negativities and obscurations since beginning this time in general, and in particular all of the obstacles to our perfecting the four immeasurable thoughts, the four immeasurable minds.
What the Lutancer Regulars in that church between the Sedgewall and the Nenas of Mel Sedgewall, so that to get young of the Masama or some such.
And then with the golden light predominant in those 5 lights, it endows ourselves and all sentient beings with all the conducive conditions for being able to dedicate a life to spiritual practice, such as a long life free of any illness and obstacles, etc. And again we go through the supplication process, reciting the four immeasurables, how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings had happiness and the causes of happiness and so on. May this be the case. I will see to it that it is the case. So Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, please bless me to make it so. How wonderful if all sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May this be the case. I will see to it that it is the case. O Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, please bless me to make it so. How wonderful if all sentient beings had the happiness that knows no suffering and the excellent bliss of liberation. May this be the case. I will see to it. O Guru Shakyamuni, please bless me to make this so. And then pausing to consider how the lack of fulfillment of these ideals is due to the attachment and aversion that is so prevalent in our minds. We make the final supplication, how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were free from attachment and aversion, but hold some close and others distant. O Guru, may this be the case. I will see to it that it is the case. O Guru Shakyamuni, please bless me to make it so. And again, we kind of really generate this kind of really strong collection or sentiment of supplication. And again, the Buddha responds by emanating the 5 colored nectar lights again from the heart center, this time with the golden light predominant in image or in appearance, the golden light, representing all the qualities of the Buddha's body, speech and mind, and entering in through our crowns and the crowns of all other sentient beings, the 5 colored nectar lights with the golden light predominant endows us with the qualities of an enlightened being of body, speech and mind, and in particular the ability or the potential to perfect the 4 immeasurable thoughts. So then we place our minds single pointedly as much as we can and do placement meditation just on the figure of Shakyamuni Buddha in the space in front. So then we pay our attention to the name mantra of Shakyamuni Buddha and recite one mala of that mantra.
Lam Rim
And so this name mantra of Shakyamuni Buddha is particularly suited to us who are endeavoring to master all the trainings on the graduated path to enlightenment, because it actually stands for symbolic of the process of attaining all the teachings related to the three capacities of being on that path. And we pray that we will be able to dedicate our body, speech and mind to the fulfillment of all the goals of the smaller and medium and especially the greater capacity being on that path. So as was explained previously, the Om sound is representative of body, speech and mind, and therefore that's a dedication of our body, speech and mind. And Muni, the first of those, represents of the smaller capacity being path. The second Muni, the medium capacity being path, and the Mahamuni is the greater capacity being path. And Soha is this invocation of please bless us to be able to fulfill all of the content of the three capacity beings' paths in our own mind stream. So when we are reciting the mantra, that we also visualize the rays of light entering from the heart center of the Buddha, flowing in through the crown of ourself and all sentient beings, and endowing us with just that capacity to be able to attain and establish the three capacity beings' paths in our mind streams. So that when we are visualizing also, we actually see countless rays of light emanating from all of the Buddha's body and entering out through space and sending their blessing in that way. And so it's through our very recitation, making the sound syllables of the mantra, that energizes that very light emanating from the Buddha, in that it increases and it sustains, continues that light. To be a blessing for all sentient beings. And so then in the recitation of a mantra like this too, that we feel how the nectar light can be representative of the Buddha's body, speech and mind entering in through our crowns and bodies and the crowns and bodies of all sentient beings. And in doing so, they endow us with all those qualities, and indeed also to clear away all the obstacles to our attaining all the realizations of the path of the smaller capacity being, clearing away the obscurations to our realizing all the path of the medium capacity being and all of the path of the greater capacity being. And in doing so, we are able to really generate in our mind streams a genuine sense of renunciation, of bodhicitta, of the correct view of emptiness, and thereby really gain the essential realizations of all the different paths related to the different beings, and indeed in also clearing away all of the obstacles to our being able to do just that. All of that standing in the way of our spiritual progress, we feel is completely eradicated, and leaving a sense of joy and delight in our minds, and so that this is what imbues our recitation of mantra, that it brings with it that sense of blessing, that sense of delight, so that we have no fatigue when reciting mantra, and also that we are able to remain single-pointedly just on that process of mantra recitation without the mind becoming scattered to any external phenomena. So that we feel that this is the a technique really of using the nectar light in this way, the light, and that the kind of like the streaming of light, the increase of light has the effect of maintaining our focus and not allowing for the mind to be distracted. Without that, we may kind of wander off of just simply reciting a mantra. And so this is a very good way of thinking, in that on the one hand the Buddha's blessing is always there for us, but what we are doing in the course of this kind of meditation is making ourselves into a suitable receptacle for that blessing. And it's very good to visualize the increase of light, increase of blessing like that, and being able to receive that blessing for ourselves. Very useful. And so then focusing again on the figure of the Shakyamuni Buddha in the space in front of us, we make this very powerful request that to be able to bless us, that we be able to complete the realization of the 3 higher trainings, of being able to fulfill the 3 aspects of the path, namely renunciation, bodhicitta, and the correct view of emptiness, that we can fulfill the goals of the attainments of the 5 paths and the 10 grounds, and indeed all of what we need to do in the course of eradicating negativity and removing of obstacles to be able to fulfill that path, and in order to effectively request this blessing, we make an offering of a 7-limb prayer and a mandala. And so then, as a result of making the 7-limb prayer and the offering of mandala, the Buddha emanates a replica body which comes to the crown of our head and is seated there facing the figure of Shakyamuni Buddha in front. So then, from the figure of Shakyamuni Buddha on our crown, we begin the process of inviting the Buddha to our heart center. And at our heart center, we have prepared the upturned 8-petaled lotus with the moon and sun disk there, this kind of mandala at our heart center. The figure of Shakyamuni Buddha, we visualize the size of a thumb or smaller. And with the invocation verse, the Buddha proceeds down through our crown and down through the central channel. And so we make the first recitation of glorious and precious Root Guru, come take your lotus and moon seat placed here at my heart. Keep me safe in your kindness, bestow on me the attainments of your body, speech and mind. The Buddha begins the journey down through the central channel. And then, O glorious and precious Root Guru, come take your lotus and moon seat placed here at my heart. Keep me safe in your kindness, bestow on me the attainments of your body, speech and mind. The figure of Shakyamuni Buddha comes to sit at the mandala seat that we have prepared. And with the third recitation, we feel that the Buddha is now stable and remaining at our heart center until we attain enlightenment. How wonderful this is, that now until I attain the state of enlightenment myself, I have the Buddha himself to look after me, to take care of me. And so then, with the folding over of the petals of the lotus that enfold the figure of Shakyamuni Buddha, which is nevertheless in nature of light and streaming out very powerful rays of light, which kind of like come into our body as well. And so then, with the this folded petaled form at our heart center, as if bound by the Sanskrit vowels flowing in a clockwise direction, the syllables flowing in an anti-clockwise direction, and then the consonants flowing in an anti-clockwise direction, and then the mantra of dependent arising again flowing in a clockwise direction. Again, the mantras themselves emanate a very powerful light, and these flow through our body, and as if awakening or empowering our winds, channels and drops, and indeed also really balancing any imbalance of the different elements of our body. And so we have this sense of a perfect mind, body balance and unity in perfection. And all the obstacles, whether external, internal or secret, are completely eradicated. In short, that all of obstacles, whether external, internal or secret, that might interfere with our attainment of enlightenment, are completely eradicated. We are completely separated from them, and simultaneously that we are endowed with all of the conducive qualities that would assist us to quickly attain the state of enlightenment. Very, it's wonderful. We rejoice in that. This is made meaningful, our precious human rebirth. It is made significant, our meeting with the Dharma, etc. And then through the combination of our own most subtle wind with the body of the Buddha at our heart center, our own body transforms into the enlightened body of a Buddha. And then through the combination of our own most subtle mind acting as the substantial cause, and the mind of Shakyamuni Buddha acting as the cooperative conditions, our own mind is transformed into the enlightened mind of a Buddha. And so therefore our body, speech and mind are transformed into the body, speech and mind of an enlightened being, of a Buddha. And so the place in which we are also is completely purified of any fault and becomes a pure realm. Today I have fulfilled the goal of being able to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. How fantastic, how wonderful that is. So we then emanate from our heart center as an enlightened being, countless rays of light, equal in number to all the sentient beings surrounding us, and entering in through the crown of all the sentient beings, of all the beings, for example, in the hell realms who are suffering from the different categories of heat and cold, etc. All the beings in the hungry spirit realm suffering internal and external obscurations to the attainment of nourishment. All the beings in the animal realms who are suffering from the benighted ignorance and due to karma, various types of harm. The beings in the human realms and the asura realms, the celestial beings in the desire realm, and indeed the deities of the form and form realms, form and formless realms, all beings in cyclic existence. That the enlightened light entering in through all their crowns completely purifies them of all these particular negativities relevant to their state, but also all obscurations and negativities that they've accumulated since beginningless time, along with their imprints, and so that they are completely purified and they spontaneously attain the body, speech and mind of an enlightened being. And indeed all of their places in which they abide are also completely freed of any fault, and they transform into pure realms. Now I have fulfilled the goal of myself and others. How wonderful is that? rejoice.
Wata gao komne ta 지금 몇 번 이제 잠을 때 이내야 다들 개와 사샤바 디 아니 문에 거라데 다 두두에 아니 교류 교와쇼스 아니 라게 다 지금 처럼 세디 다 아니 처럼다 처럼 봐도 와다 디도다 두려쳐도 아니 다 규투도 봐 디 기계 바제트 줬어 대대 요에 기계 바제트 함자 세워줘 교류 교와쇼.
Of course, we understand that we're operating here at the level of imagination. This is not truly manifest for us, but we dedicate the virtue of this particular meditation so that very quickly it will be actual and made manifest for us, and that through the remainder of our life and from life to life may we be dedicated towards being able to eradicate all of negativities and obscurations and obstacles to our being able to fulfill this goal, and indeed accrue all of the conducive conditions to be able to actualize what we are visualizing here as quickly as possible. And so then in our dedication, we dedicate all of of this practice, the virtue of this practice, and with the understanding that the state for which we are hoping to attain, the state of enlightenment, the virtue of our body, speech and mind that we have created, and indeed all of us, the ones who are engaging in this practice, are completely empty of any intrinsic existence, and do not even exist so even at the atomical level. And so this is making the connection with the meditation on emptiness, and that we may be able to gain this realization also as quickly as possible. So that from that emptiness combined with the bliss, we are abiding in the wisdom of non-dual bliss and voidness. Sorry, the meditation is taking quite some time.
Thank you, Gemma. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
점점 내가 삼당 손을 야고 있대. 맞아. 가가지고 남기디 삼로 남기 잘했고 막 제냠내 지금 열에 지금도 거든요. 점점 가서 루루전인데 삼로 담아이나. 거기에 시에대 전에 냠래를 배되게 손을 쳤어요. 사실은 그것도 봐. 먼저 또 개치주된 것도 조롱좀 제대 개치주된 냠래 제체도 샘뒤에 제대로 와. 아니 랑게 샘뒤다 지 가서 잡아내 이제 나서 뭐 컴퓨터 쪽뒤에. 와다 녀모도 슉촌촌 쪽뒤에. 아니 나라도 관계 미조었다. 제가 지금 몇 년에 지금 이제 참여했잖아. 미조는 샘제 탐제도 사제 공부도 와다 이 삼로도 슉체다 누가 제도 다 했지.
So although I do think that such practice is really, really important, and I'd recommend if you've ever had an opportunity to kind of gather together in any sort of sense to really take the opportunity to do such practice. I think it's very, very important. Of course, what we do in terms of the teaching is very good. That study is important. But also we must ensure that we practice as well in this way, and it's very important to do what we can in terms of the kind of intellectual understanding of love, compassion, etc., but also to kind of bring that to our reality by meditating on it, by practicing it in these ways. So whether it's the development of love, compassion, or the reduction of the mental afflictions and the influence they have on us, to do whatever we can to especially focus on the main Mahayana objective is wanting to benefit sentient beings, and to kind of make that more real, more kind of like more live for us, is to really kind of engage in practices such as this, so that we strengthen our focus on all sentient beings and the benefit to all sentient beings. And so also that to recite the name mantra of Shakyamuni Buddha, and to reflect on the meaning of that, and how convenient it is that in such a short mantra you have the content of all of the graduated path teachings, really. Really, it's really quite significant that we have the essence of all the teachings of the smaller, medium, and greater capacity beings in that mantra. So I know that it can be the case that we recite a lot of other mantras, and yet we don't consider the mantra associated with Shakyamuni Buddha to be that important, because we don't understand the meaning behind it. Yes, because of course without the teacher, the Buddha, there are no other mantras to speak of. Oh yes, yes. So yeah. And so, like, I know that in some Chinese practitioners, they really devoted to Kuan Yin, and that it's like to the almost exclusion of Shakyamuni Buddha. But of course, without Shakyamuni Buddha, there's no Kuan Yin.
Kuan Yin dan drama da sangye chomden da tempa di on de sangye chomden denge da bena dirwa kasa de gui song tu tile wa de tile wa.
So, like Kuan Yin, Tara, and so on, in their relationship to the Buddha of this fortunate era, Shakyamuni Buddha, are representative of the Buddha's skillful means. They are represent. They are the image, or the representative of the Buddha's skillful means. And so, like Chenrezig, Avalokiteshvara is the representative of the Buddha's compassion, and Manjushri, the Buddha's wisdom, Vajrapani, the Buddha's power.
Buddha
So the Buddha is the source. If there's no Buddha, there is can't be no other representative of it. And those deities as well can be seen as kind of like inseparable from bodhicitta, the mind of bodhicitta, because without that there is no kind of arising in the form of those deities.
Bodhicitta and emptiness mind.
And the emptiness mind. So it's very important to reflect on these matters in terms of cause and effect, isn't it? Because without the cause there cannot be such an effect. Of course, this mind of bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment, arises from the cause of great compassion.
다 compassion 간에 연구도 심지어도.
And where does compassion arise from? Sentient beings.
다 심지어서 시우리 개치 못 차야 돼.
So therefore, that's why we consider sentient beings to be so important.
다 심지어 뒤에는 나라도 틀려 얘기하면 심지어 틀려 얘기해도 매바지 시합 자주 8월에 링시 맞으려 요마로 틀려 얘기하더라고.
And to understand that the sentient beings that are being referred to are not in some foreign country beyond the ocean, but the ones that are right beside us, right next to us every day.
가시 세디게 소소 파마리 가시 세디게 소소 부고리 가시 세디게 소소 조고조고 가시 세디게 심제 밤에 심제 가시 세디게 심제 리듬 또 뒤집게 살에 맞게살에 또 자리를 또 어떻게 들어왔다.
And so these sentient beings are the ones who are with us on every day. They're our mother, our father, our relatives, our friends, those who we are close to, those who we are neutral towards and neutral towards us. And they include also those with whom we have the occasion a little bit of biffo and a little bit of trouble. So they're also the kind of sentient beings.
다 되게 저 당가서 남주 낭발에 잡도 지금 요래 한 되게 난데 대과 첨보래 아니 가서도 다 섬제 담자 산제 구마 토바시고 물론 제가 나간 이제 모두 세매시 된거 요래다 되게 라버야 대화 대보자 동네 대화 주자 동네매 대화 다 가서도 동네매 대화도 미대화 주자 니리 차다자 모두 물론 자가 요봐 다 돼서 니리 차다다 대화 되게 세매시가 냠래 소스는 고추고도 와 필요 좀 고추예요 다 소스는 고추잖아 안 되게 영답 지고도 와
And so we can have this image of ourselves as a Buddhist, as a Mahayanist, that we make the prayer of wanting to attain the state of enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. We make the beautiful prayer of the four immeasurables, how may all sentient beings be free from suffering and the cause of suffering, may they have happiness and the cause of happiness, may they have the happiness that knows no suffering, and may they be free from attachment and anger that holds some close and others distant. We make these prayers. These are our sentiments coming from our minds. It starts with us. How are we going to fulfill these prayers, these aspirations? So we have to keep asking the question that all of what we want to achieve through our aspirations and prayers begins with us. And then we should be able to see that improvement by doing our best, by making our prayers and aspirations, by backing that up with our effort and our meditation. And then in time we will see some transformation of mind. And so that otherwise it can be this danger of praying and even meditating, but not making connection with the actual integration of that, with the practice of what our ideals are, and that without that we will see no necessary improvement or transformation of the mind.
다 좀더 강에 도서도 책이래. 강에 책이래. 강에 채바디 아니 지금 마음발라 강에 마체베 줄을 빼주 당도 가지고 또. 도서 강에 책이래. 가서 와서 내가 코아바래. 라니 아니 지금 도수고 생활도 주대요래. 로바스에 갈아간서 도수고 생활도 주대요. 그 강에다 책이래. 강에 채바디 아니 맞아. 마음발라 강에 마체베 아니 줄을 빼주 당도 가지고 또. 디 중앙라 아니 개념 람도 도도와 제고도 와.
So of course, it's not that there won't be any problems. Of course, from time to time there will be problems and there will be difficulties. But what we must do is to take this realistic attitude that yes, because we are in cyclic existence, such issues like that are inevitable. But we must gain the skillful means to be able to transform such problems, to create them as causes so that we do not have to meet with such problems and difficulties in the future. And so to become really skillful at that is very, very important. And that to understand, yes, that both myself and all other sentient beings, my friends and those companions, we are under the influence of the mental afflictions. We're in cyclic existence. So, of course, difficulties are going to arise. We're going to meet with issues. But to get really, really good at making them as actual causes so that we don't have to experience those problems again in the future.
먼저 섬정보다 강에 채워도 어다 디지도 섬서 강에서 된데 강에 연구에 대 가르치는 연구서 개왕님의 레다 제와 연대도 렌터리 이제 약고 중앙 인바나 아니 강에 태들라 동네 제도에지 다 렌터의 카잠 침바이나 아니 강에 제도 동네 제다 카잠면도 문에 날라를 좀 마도에지 렌터의 셈팅의 약고 중앙 인바이나 아니 그 렌터 딜라 때네 아니 그 내가 숙체도 줘야지 아니 강에 채워도 아니 저게 디 남자 good water vetone and kangetela donete maun bale tende mayu ni jutu tuation kurwa.
And again here, of course, the concept of karma, the law of cause and effect, is absolutely essential, and to have that belief, that conviction in the validity of the law of cause and effect is so important. How common it is for us when we meet an issue, isn't it? We always kind of want to point that finger, or it's her fault, it's his fault, and so on. But if we understand that we have a part in that problem, we have some responsibility for what has arisen, and then it's automatically more easy to accept what is going on. And that's key to being able to do something about it, isn't it? That you can accept it first, then you can see, okay, what is the cause here, to look into the cause, and then to not only eradicate the cause and overcome the difficulty, but through one's conviction in the law of cause and effect, to prevent ourselves from falling into that same issue again by not creating similar causes that might lead to these problems again.
아니 디 지금 라를 캡사지라고 해봐도 초아디 개점이 있어요. 강에서 다디 내 레님바사다 제부 연구도 어다다 다 저거 다 야고 시고 중소스 어떤데 전에 아니 지 가고면 디 야고 시고 중소스 샘팅도 어다 되게 차통이지. 그래서 레사사도 넘치면 제부 연구래. 제 제부 연구도 다 다른 연구한테 야고 중소 samsaja the kawa come to bayina and same thing tela and ju khondro da magawa kiete shukchung da jonga meba cha toeche.
Another very, very useful attitude, especially when the context of living within an acceptance and a conviction in the law of cause and effect, is that you can actually see a profit or benefit to problems arising, in that you can see that if a problem has arisen for you, a difficulty, a suffering, that it is a result, isn't it, that has now ripened of a negative cause that happened in the past. So you can actually kind of gain some sense of rejoicing in the fact that that negativity has finished its karmic path, because it has resulted now in this ripening problem, this ripening suffering. And to kind of like, it's very good that I can experience this and deal with this now. This is really something very, very precious and very much worth rejoicing in. And that such, when one has the mind in that sort of way, in that sort of focus, and then any latent anger or irritability, etc., that might be deeper in the mind is disempowered and maybe eradicated completely.
너가 깨게라 아니 지금 샘단 예고 차이에 되겠지. 오. 뒤가라 남의 제 고급 진짜 삼삼지. 배로 쇠발라 쏘봐. 남의 제 고급 진짜 삼삼 아니 가난당 좋아용 되지.
So having this attitude to problems and to difficulties, in other words, seeing them as some sense of there's a gain there for me, there's a profit in that for me. It has this remarkable ability also to kind of disenfranchise the one who wants to harm you, because you are now seeing them not as one who is harming, but as a close friend. And they're giving me in the context of, say, developing patience, the opportunity to practice. And so this is really precious to me. Thank you very much.
야, what 다 딜라 때는 봐줘야 되고 내가 내가 참여했지.
And so on that basis, then it eradicates the harm or even potential of harm coming from such a person.
그래서 먼저 지금 내가 개발할 때는 아주 그 지금 남주 된다한다 제단한다 망부 지기 아니 봐줘야 된다도 내가 숙취하게 그 먼저 잡줘야 되거든. 잡줘야 되고 남주 먼저 탐해요 저단지는 잡줘줘. 다 딜라 지금서 아니 콜라 잡줘도 그 내가 숙취하게 모두는 내가 개종돼. 아니 소소가 모두는 내가 개 쭉쭉 되거든. 어떻게 정도 다 때문에 저 소소가 베스트 딩네 아 그런 게 내가 개와들라는 콘도다 나게다 개매와 저 아니 저 소소를 개배라고 봐서도 뒤 남주다 근데 가서다 리플렉션 야부십시오 봐. 안 들려되는 파조 되게 내가 숙취하게 되면 매번 잘 된대요.
So we can see how sort of thinking in this way is completely, as it was, counterintuitive in that sense. That normally, what's our attitude to somebody giving us a hard time is that it's seen in our face, our negative reaction in a sense, like our expression shows our disapproval, and that's only the beginning then of a kind of an escalation of harm. So that might result in more harmful action, words, and so on, and it's sort of like supporting our sense of disapproval and dislike for this person and then back for, and so more harm ensues from a situation like that. Not only that, but it kind of perpetuates that sort of knee-jerk reaction to somebody giving us a hard time. But if we can, say, deep within the mind, have this understanding of any harm or harmer as facilitating our own practice of patience, and not only that, but also bringing an end to the karmic path of causes that we created in the past, then it changes the whole dynamic of these interactions. And so we can really deal with situations like that much more skillfully and much more beneficially from our point of view.
근데 샘디 시작기고도 가서나 지금 샘디는 뭐도 쉬우죠 마가 쉬우실래요도 내가 찍을 내가 되가라 샘마기고 되가 강에 차죠 되거든.
And so that's this sustains a sense of happiness in the mind, happiness and peace of mind. And again, looking at the opposite, we can see that if we haven't got that sense of happiness in the mind, then it's open to the dislike that arises when somebody is doing something that we dislike. And so that dislike in turn is something that feeds off itself and creates more and more irritability and unhappiness in the mind.
지금 미마이 잡았는데 다 지금 내가 잡았는데 미드 미마이 잡았는데 내가 잡았잖아. 아니 토마토는 다 내가 또 망아 땅으로 쳤어. 망아 땅으로도 내 냠내를 팽개뒀어. 어떻게 됐잖아. 냠내는 게 또.
So there are many stories of those who engage in such mind training, the great practitioners who engage in such mind training, who may be experiencing non-human harm interfering with their practice. And they have been known to call out for more. Give me more harm. It's great. You're helping my practice. Keep it up.
What is it? 아니 지가 소라다. 만약에 자주고도. 가서 나서는 제한도 되네. never can go the gozo that wa. The gozo that I let on what I did let on to and never child.
So from that sort of position of strength, then they are unable to be harmed by this non-human interference. Whereas if you take this position of, me, poor me, then you're really kind of inviting harm on yourself. So this shows the kind of fragility of this sense of such a self-identification as well, and the otherwise strength of the opposite.
지금 강에 매워 속에整个有的이나 양아라 저거 삼로 당당 마시 받들 삼로 당당 뭐 여기 내주 투배 삼로 당 마시 뭐 오게 강에 세다 마시 받잖아 강에 차로 욕좀 먹고 용대 차리도
So it's so often is the case that we think that we are doing what we're doing in order to eradicate a problem, but because we do not see the reality of the situation, or because we don't have this sense of a mind training, that often what we do is counterproductive, and not only does it not eradicate the problem, but it makes it bigger.
강에 세게 규가리 받을 라도 랑고 뭐이 내주다 투베토네 강에 규가리 받을 시베토네 빵답제 고고도
And so it's so important then to be able to have an understanding as much as we can of all the causes and conditions that have combined to create this particular situation, and to deal with the problem from that viewpoint, and rather than taking the attitude of I want or I don't want things to be like that. That is not a very skillful, it's an extremely blunt instrument in order to be able to work with our difficulties. But if we have this understanding that what has arisen based on a variety of causes and conditions, there's already a tremendous sense of acceptance in that, and a much more clear path to being able to rectify the issue.
가서 가리인바네 뭐유 내주 팀바도 뭐유 내주 샤네 아니 샤바치네든 거저 도다닥다 주죠 거 요야 거려 말았다 가리인바네 뭐유도 내주 팀바도는 조고도
So it's very important to understand the reality of the situation and to proceed with what is harmonious to that reality.
다다데 이거 다는 가라도 다다 subject 딜에 가서다 셰럽 스로다 그렇다. 다 뒤에서 어디래다. 뭐 이거 내주대 티베토는 조고요. 뭐 이거 내주 티베 조대도 다 같이 쇼가리 바이네 가서 라완도 두바지 나한테요다. 나원에시 메디게지. 아니 다 나원에시 메디게지. 다 메디게지 다 제시티 경고요. 봐 어디래.
And so this is very much in tune and in line with the point we have reached in these outlines. And so this we are now entering into, in fact, looking at the reality of the situation, and to look at the fact that all phenomena, though they might have this appearance of having some sense of autonomous control or objectivity, they lack any such reality. And so this is the explanation of how we come to that viewpoint. But maybe that'll have to be later, because we won't be able to go. We won't be able to go very far today.
Yeah.
Oh, we leave it. So we'll leave it there for today. But indeed, it's never too. It's always so important to emphasize the mind training side of the teachings. It's very important. There's so many great teachings on mind training, and so many texts out there on mind training. That it'd be very, very good to kind of continuously familiarize our mind with them. And one of the greatest is, of course, the 8 verses of mind training, which is very short, very easy to read, but it has such incredibly deep content. And so that would be excellent to try and familiarize ourselves, become very, very familiar with that text.
강에 도서 저도 남자 로종의 뎁데도 로종의 베제데도 로종 돌아 삼로 망고 땅아이나 강에 되네세 것도 다시 말에 강에 세도 말에.
I think when we do meet with problems, it's very useful to immediately read some mind training text to see how we can apply the thinking therein to our problem. And in that way, I think we can eradicate issues like that quite well. Whereas I think taking other means to try and do it will not be successful. Sorry, I didn't get to the wisdom part of the text today. So the Lam Rim dedication prayer. From my two collections, vast space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving passion for all lives and Jushri. May I find the best and complete graded paths of the teachings. May I please all the Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of paths as I have discerned them. May I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread and have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this greater path of enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children, may all human and non-human beings who eliminate diversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent path never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may the oceans of prosperity spread everywhere.